Hi, so this is part one in a series on the writing flow system. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how you find your energy, how you find the best writing routine for you. It's not about anybody else and what's working for them. It's what's going to work best for you and your energy type. So I wanted to talk to you about your circadian rhythm. So your circadian rhythm is your internal body clock or your internal body rhythm. And we all have our own specific rhythm. So our chronotype. So some people are morning people and some people are evening people, like your morning people or your night owls. Like my mother was a classic night owl. And in fact, my family was split right down the middle. So half of us are morning people, the other half are night owls, and it's a really weird combination. And I always felt so sorry for my dad because he is a morning person and my mother is a night owl. But when you're a morning person, you are jumping out of bed in the morning and your brain is super fresh. It is just, you can think really clearly in the morning. Whereas by the end of the day, you are banjaxed, absolutely banjaxed. And my dad, when he was in Australia, it was about 9 o'clock in the evening, and my dad was standing there and he was starting to fall asleep. And I was like, Dad, why don't you go to bed? And he was like, what time is it? I'm like, who cares what time it is? You're knackered. You're falling asleep standing up. Just go to bed. And my mother wouldn't let him go to bed. My mother had a rule that you couldn't go to bed before 11:30 because that was bedtime, because she was a night owl. My dad was not a night owl and he was like me and he'd be knackered. Anyway, he was just, I can't go to bed yet because it's only 9 o'clock. It's too early to go to bed. And I was like, Dad, I always go to bed at 9 o'clock. He literally shot past me. He nearly knocked me down the stairs. He was going to bed. And now my mother would have killed him because she'd be like, what are you doing going to bed at 9 o'clock? Anyway, different people have different circadian rhythms, and some people are morning and some people are evening. Now, why is this important? You're probably thinking, why are you even talking about this? Well, I have done so many courses online with incredibly successful people, and they all talk about getting up at 5 in the morning and doing your exercise routine and journaling and cracking into your day. The problem with that is that works if you're a morning person. If you're not a morning person and if you're naturally a night owl, that is going to suck big time for you. So the point is you don't try and become the other. It's really about tuning in to yourself. What works for you? Know your own rhythm. Because if you can put a really solid boundary around your specific time where you are at your most creative, your sharpest, if you can put a boundary around that, you will get so much productivity. You will get so much writing done in 1 hour. Whereas if you try and go by somebody else's rhythm, and like if you're an evening person, you might wait till the kids have gone to bed and then you can just smash out a quick half an hour then at like 9, 10 o'clock, whatever. It doesn't matter. But it really matters that you know your own rhythm, because 1 hour when you're at your peak mental state is as good as 3 hours if you're like in your worst state or you're starting to like really kind of collapse for the day. So once you know when your rhythm is, and I really want you to think about this a lot this week and tune into yourself and start to notice, when am I actually sharpest? And it might even be the middle of the day. Like, there's no rules to this. It's really, really personal. So tune into yourself and figure it out. When you know when it is, you have got to protect that time with your life. I'm serious, with your life. When you have that little window of time, even if it's really early in the morning before you've got to get lunches made and whatever else you got to do, make sure you use some of that time and use it for really complex creative thinking, like figuring out plot stuff that's going wrong, and just even brainstorming or smashing out some words. Get some words down in that time. Do not spend that time like researching, doing a bit of editing that you feel like needs to be done. Don't waste that prime time on tasks like that you can do when you're in more of a medium energy state. Definitely don't use that time for like scrolling on social media or even making social media posts for your writer's channel. Don't do those kind of things that are kind of menial tasks, admin, formatting, any of that stuff. Don't waste that juicy time. Put them in the time of the day when you're like, oh, I'm a little bit, lower, I'm dipping. First morning people, that could be later in the afternoon. For you evening people, that might be early in the morning. That's when you switch it around. So the really important thing I want you to take away from this quick little video is, when are you at your sharpest? What is your circadian rhythm? Are you a morning person? Are you an evening person? When you figure that out, or if you've already figured that out, protect that time with your life. I mean your life. And you don't have to spend a whole load of time in this beautiful space. You could maybe you can only spare half an hour. Maybe you can only spare 15 minutes. But if you do your most creative work or your first draft, your writing in that time, you will get so much bang for your buck. And any of those lower menial tasks or lower energy tasks from medium to low, do them when your energy levels are starting to dip. And I'm going to go deeper into this in the next video and start talking about I think it's called your ultradian rhythm or something like that. But it's even going deeper again. So I will see you in the next video.